Hello and welcome to Crimes of the Heart Tarot. I'm Miss Vicki, and I'm going to use the tarot to see if we can gain more insight into unsolved mysteries, deaths, and disappearances. Let's get started.
Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Today I want to do a reading about Sid Vicious and Nancy Spungen. Her death, his death. Sid was the bass guitar for the Sex Pistols. They were a really successful punk group around 1977. I think that's when Sid was asked to join. Really outrageous. But they were successful. They had a lot of followers, and all that. Sid met Nancy in between 1977 and 1978 when they were on tour. Now, she was an American, and they both were very, very deep into substance abuse, and it was almost like love at first sight for them. They bonded. They were together constantly. The substance abuse got worse and worse, and the band broke up in 1978 because of Sid's substance abuse mainly, but there were other problems too, other band members. And Nancy and Sid moved to the Chelsea Hotel in New York, and they sort of made that their headquarters. From all accounts, people that knew them, they were heavily into substance abuse while they were there. Pretty much strung out constantly. He didn't play music anymore that I know of. He basically was out of the band, and they basically just were together doing things they shouldn't have been doing. Now, on October 12th, 1978, Nancy was found dead in the bathroom of their hotel room. She had been stabbed with a knife. The knife was a gift knife that was given to Sid. Sid was in the hallway, but he was just in a drug-induced fog. He was incoherent. He didn't really seem to know where he was. He didn't know anything about what was going on. He was charged with second-degree murder. He was released on bail. He got into some kind of altercation, I think at another party, a fight, and he was sentenced to 7 weeks in prison, the Rikers Island prison. Now, when Sid got out, he went to a party to celebrate being released. And it's not funny, but it's just, gosh, where are the common sense? With drug use, I guess common sense just isn't part of the vocabulary. So he went to a party after he was released to celebrate being released. I'm not sure where the party was. I'm not going to go into details about the band or anything like that, because I just want to basically ask the cards if Sid murdered Nancy. Now, the day after the party on February 1st, 1979, he was found dead the next morning of a substance abuse related death. Now, I just want to put some cards down, and it's almost like he doesn't remember, or he doesn't want to remember, didn't want to remember. He's passed on now. Apparently the substance abuse was really excessive. They just really were into that. I just thought I'd put a few cards down. I want to find out, was Sid responsible for Nancy being stabbed and later dying? Or some rumors say they were heavily into substance abuse, and a dealer may have been responsible. There is no proof of that. There's not a lot of proof about anything. there weren't any witnesses that we know of, unless there was a third party. So those are the possibilities. I just wanted to find out. It's just such a negative situation. You know, he was talented if that's your type of music, and she was quite attractive, but they just gave their lives over to the substance abuse. It's very sad. It happens a lot. But there are rumors that they had deliveries a lot. Now, he hadn't been with the group for a while. He'd been let go. The band had disbanded. So he didn't have a lot of income. He did get some money from the records, of course, and the Sex Pistols became even more famous after their deaths. But as for income, it pretty much went to the substance. So there's a possibility that there was a third party. I mean, when you're dealing with things like that, and dealing with those kind of people, lots of money, a lot of money was exchanged. And you're also dealing with people that really aren't, I want to say, in their right minds because of the substance abuse. So I've always been curious about this. Just a very tragic story. Just see what we can find. See what the cards have to say about all this. Alright. I'm using a deck I haven't used for a long time. It's called the Lepus Tarot. And it's based on these sort of dark side rabbits. But the cards are really interesting. Now, rabbits are mystical in a lot of societies. They're underground, they can do a lot of magical things. A lot of people give them magical powers. So I thought that was interesting. I think we'll just see what we get. All right. What happened in that hotel room on October 12th, 1978, when Nancy died? All right, we have the Eight of Wands and the Page of Wands. Now the Eight of Wands, I don't know if you can see these. This is a heavy burden. This is someone, both of them, I think, were weighted down by the substance abuse. I get that very strongly. And the Page of Wands is kind of a new start. It can be a fiery person. This can be another person. This is Sid and Nancy, I'm sure. I'm really getting that strongly. They were totally weighted down by the substance abuse. It was their whole life. And I'm not sure who the Page of Wands would be. That's usually a younger person. It's a new start. Of course, her passing on could have been a new start for Sid, but it wasn't. We need more cards. All right. And we're talking about both of them, but we're talking specifically about Nancy's passing. All right. Then we have the Nine of Wands. We've got a lot of wands. The Nine of Wands is somebody who's the wounded warrior card, they call it. This is someone who's been fighting, defending themselves. Heavy, heavy burden. And I see the substance abuse here. They were both just totally engulfed with it. It was their whole life. And then we have the Five of Cups. Five of Cups is someone walking away from a bad situation. This is also someone who's seeing tragedy in their lives, seeing only the bad things. And there are two positive cups behind them, but he doesn't, I want to say he because I feel it's a Sid. He doesn't see that. This was difficult for them, this situation they were under at the hotel, doing these endless substance abuse. I don't know what to call it. Marathons. Then we have the Four of Pentacles. This is holding on to money. This is a miser. This is somebody who wants money and wants to keep the money. Doesn't want to share the money. Now, I don't know what their finances were worth. I don't even know what Nancy did. I don't think she even had a job when she met Sid. This is interesting. They didn't have a lot of money, or they were holding on to their money. But from what I understood, and what I understand about substance abuse, it can be extremely expensive if you have major habits, which they both allegedly did. And this is all alleged. This is for entertainment purposes only. This is just entertainment, kind of a dark entertainment, but it is alleged. That card interests me more than the other ones. All right, then we have the Ace of Wands. This is a new idea. This is the start of an idea. This with the money really interests me. This is fire. This is somebody that has an opportunity to do something positive. Full of fire, new opportunities. This is business also. These two cards, I think, are business cards, or some kind of dealing going on. And I don't mean, or maybe I do mean dealing. There was something, definitely money, business, new start. Let's put those over there. And then we have the Empress. All right, this is how, I believe this is how Sid saw Nancy. She was basically the love of his life. I mean, they instantly bonded. She was everything to him. But she was also weighted down by the substance abuse. She had other problems too. But she was his Empress. All right, then we have the Three of Pentacles. Now this card, there's a little dark lupin there. Yes, lupins are fantasy, magical creatures. That's how we're approaching using these cards for. Not as your little backyard bunnies. This is working. 3 people. This is 3 people working. There was some kind of working with money going on. Then we have the Justice card. Justice is about the law. Now we know Sid had been, after her demise, he had been charged with second-degree murder. He was released on bail, but then he was only in prison for 7 weeks, which is, I don't understand that. I don't know the total history of them. You can look it up. I wonder, there's probably even documentaries, but I don't know if those are realistic. This is about the law, but this also could be something catching up with them. And I do see money. All right, then we've got the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is a card about wanting happier times, wishing things hadn't turned out the way they did. Now, this doesn't really say who felt that way. I believe Sid was devastated when Nancy passed. I mean, she was his Empress. I believe he was totally in love with her. But she was weighted down, and he was weighted down. All right. Now, the Justice card could be something about law. Maybe there were other things going on besides... I'm getting there was something else going on. We know the law was after him. We know the legal system was concerned about what they were doing. But there's something else going on about money. And not just the lack thereof to buy substance. There was some idea, a bright idea. They had a plan to do something about not having to give up the money to get what they wanted. And then we also have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is a gift. It can be this is a really courageous page, younger man, somebody out to get the world by the tail, someone who's full of fire. It can also mean gifts, giving things, receiving things. So far I see they were totally burdened by the substance abuse. They wanted to stop it. They wanted to walk away. Sid wanted to. I don't know about Nancy. I think this was after she passed. He was really in love with her. And he really, really wished things had been different. He was devastated by what happened. But I do see money. And I also see somebody trying to do something about money. Now, maybe they owed money to the people that supplied them. And they were working on a plan. I don't know what his income was like. I don't know how successful he was at that point. If he had a lot of income from his albums. I don't really know anything about her. I believe she was from a well-off family, but I could be wrong about that. Money was definitely involved. I see a lot of remorse. Wishing things were better. The legal system catching up with them. But we want to know what happened in that hotel room. I'd really like the cards to tell us. Did Sid, in a fog of substance abuse, attack her? Or was it someone else? Was it someone they owed money to? All right, we've got Judgment. Judgment in reverse. Judgment is a card of opportunity to change your life. This is a wake-up call. I'm getting this about Sid really strong. I see a lot of remorse. I see a lot of burden. This was in reverse, which means he just honestly couldn't get away from the substance abuse. I think he tried. I think he really tried, especially after Nancy passed. Do we see another person involved? I do see him working, 3 people working. But let's see. Was someone else responsible for Nancy's death? Was there a third party? Someone that was responsible for Nancy's death besides Sid? Really like to get those answers. All right, we've got a Hierophant. Well, this is interesting because this came out in reverse. The Hierophant is an organization. This could be it's not really the law. It can be a religion. It can be any kind of group that people participate in. Was this the substance abuse dealer, an organization? In reverse, it's a very negative organization. You're getting a group you don't really want to be involved with that has no scruples. I'm kind of getting that they were under pressure from their supplier for money. Bad judgment. Bad judgment. But when you're in the depths of substance abuse, you can't think straight. There's something in these cards. What I'm seeing here is money was involved. There was a new idea too going on, some kind of idea. I see regret. I see the law catching up with them, or with Sid anyway. Walking away from a good thing. I mean, there was more to just the Five of Cups, there was more to just the three spilled cups. He didn't see that. He was devastated by her death. There's more to it here. It's not just, I see the heavy burden, I see the fighting back wounded warrior. The Page of Wands is, this is someone who has some new ideas. And then we have the Ace of Wands. They were planning something. Sid and Nancy, I believe they were planning something about money. I don't know that he was going to do anything musically at that point. This card is the one that doesn't fit. It's the Hierophant in reverse. This could be your supplier, your organization, the person you owed money to, because in reverse it's a really negative, serious group. This is not a church or a beneficial organization or anything like this. This is the bad group, bad bunnies. But they were working on a plan. I wonder if they were going to offer their supplier something in lieu of money. A few more cards. It's such a sad story. Substance abuse just destroys lives. There's so much of it. I don't know. Well, a few more cards. Did Sid, I'm going to say, accidentally murder Nancy in a substance abuse fog, or was there someone else involved? Was someone else involved? Was it someone who was their supplier that they owed money to? I'm kind of getting that. They made a lot of promises to this person. They had plans, they wanted new starts. But the baseline is about money. Money for substance. Alright. Five of Swords. This is someone basically being humiliated. This is being taken advantage of by someone. I think they were conning or lying to whoever was supplying them. And it really upset them when they found out they were being scammed. That's what I'm getting. Now, did Sid do this in a fog, or did a third party do this to Nancy? We've got the Hermit, and we've got the Hermit. This is someone going away, deep in thought, introspective, thinking about things. I'm not sure if that belongs in that group yet or not. And then we have the Two of Swords. Two of Swords is somebody that is blindfolded, has their hands across their heart, and is putting off making a decision. There was something going on. It wasn't just that they were holed up and had all the money in the world to do their hobby or their addiction or whatever you want to call it. There was deception. Someone went away to be by themselves for a while. This could be Sid after Nancy's demise. With these two cards, this is someone else. Now that is not to say that this person, this dark organization, the person that supplied their substance, did anything to Nancy, but I'm getting a third party. And the Hermit card is really kind of that's a sad card. It's someone going away. I know Sid was really devastated when he realized what happened to her. A few more cards. I almost get that there's a possibility that he didn't do this. And I'm not making excuses for him. I don't think he even actually knows if he did it. I almost feel like he was being set up, or she was in the way of something. All right. Did Sid murder Nancy? Wow. The Knight of Pentacles. We've got money again. We've got slow moving money. This is the Pentacle card. Actually, this is the Queen of, I can barely read this. This is the Queen of Pentacles. This is money. This is earth. This is someone down to earth, but a generous person. I wonder if Nancy's family were helping her. I don't know anything about her. It could be, but it wasn't enough. Did Sid do this to Nancy? Did Sid do the death? Was he the cause of the death of Nancy? And I mean it literally. The devil. All right. The devil is addiction. The devil is, and you can be addicted to all kinds of things. This is upright. So this was about her death was because of the substance abuse addiction. Now this is making it a lot closer to Sid than it is to the supplier. But there was something going on with the supplier. This is addiction. This is being controlled by someone else. This is any kind of bad relationship, bad situation. This is a really dark card. This is beyond the substance abuse. I'm getting this was really serious. They owed money. And I still don't see him actually doing it, but obviously the drugs, the money, the whole situation, and he was aware of a lot of that. I don't know if she was. I get Sid coming through really strong. There was a lot of regret, trying to do the right thing. A few more cards. Such a sad situation. Did Sid physically do away with Nancy? Did Sid physically do, I don't know how else to say it. Temperance. All right, temperance is, here we go again. This is balance. This is balancing two things. This is your shadow self, balancing your shadow self with your angelic self. This is an angel. This is blending things together, mixing things. This could be the substance abuse too. I'm getting that. There was a lot going on in their lives when they were at the Chelsea Hotel that year. There was something going on with their supplier. There was problems with money, deception, absolute devil activity, which may have been them and someone else. It could have been it's the whole black situation. Temperance was basically crazy out the window. There was no balance, no temperance, no blending, unless it was blending of substances together. A few more cards. I'm almost getting 50-50 on a supplier versus Sid. I don't think he was even aware. He was mixing things. I'm getting mixing more than one thing. And he was so hooked on everything. They both were, but he's coming through really strong. She's more passive. I don't see her too much. I do see the Empress. That was how he saw her. I don't see Nancy real strong at all in here. A few more cards. Did Sid I don't even know how to say this without getting into trouble. Was Sid responsible for Nancy leaving this earth plane? And then we have the Three of Wands, waiting for your ships to come in. They were always waiting for their deliveries. This is really a really horrible, horrible way to have been living. They were always waiting. I don't see a person actually harming Nancy, but I do see a lot of pressure. A couple more cards and then we'll have to say that it's still pretty vague. The Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is a powerful woman, full of fire. I guess this was Nancy. They did fight. He absolutely worshipped her. But I don't see him. I think what I do see is lots of craziness, massive burdens, massive mixing of substances, waiting, always waiting for your next delivery. Money was a problem. They were doing something with money. I think maybe promising stuff, not delivering, then delivering. I see that Sid really wasn't aware of what was going on. Well, we may not get the answer, and you know why? I see a lot of confusion here, a lot of blackness. I'm not even sure that he knows what happened that day or that night. I think he was totally out of it. 10 of Pentacles. That's an ending card. I think this was the end of their money supply too. They were having major money supplies. I think they were arguing about money. Definitely, I don't want to say scamming their supplier, but it was, whoa, it was craziness. This is a crazy reading. Craziness going on. I don't think Sid knew what he was doing. I think they argued about money, and I think something did happen. They were under pressure from their supplier. They were robbing Peter to pay Paul. They were promising. This is really, really a depressing state that they were in. And when he was coherent, he was horribly sad about her. I think that's all we're going to get. I don't really see a third party actually doing harm to her. I see a third party, or more than one third party, maybe a fourth person, the supplying, the ongoing supplying, the need for money, the need for the supplies, over and over, arguing, getting high, getting low. He was very, very sad. I think we're going to end the reading. I'm going to close the circle. And I hope you like this reading. I'd like your comments. I don't know that much about them. They weren't my type of music. But I'd like to know what you think. So leave me some kind comments, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.